sorry that I'm late, but I'm here to stay. It's not about being early. It's about arriving ready. You're going to hear ego. You're going to hear heartbreak. You're going to hear addiction, isolation, and patterns repeating. But you're also going to hear growth, accountability, mentorship, and faith. This is what it sounds like when someone stops running from themselves. Here we are with Addictive Love, a.k.a. Al, a.k.a. the big star. What's up, bro? How you doing?
Been good. How about you?
Fantastic. Welcome to the anniversary of our, this is kind of weird to say another anniversary, but no. Welcome to the anniversary of, I've never done this. This is a part 2 on the same time that I interviewed you last year.
Yeah.
How you feeling, man? A lot's changed.
Man, it's been a long run. I've matured for sure. Ever since the first time we interviewed together. I'd say it's a pretty big roller coaster, I would say. Mm-hmm. I've learned a lot, especially with reading a lot of self-help books.
Right.
It's really helped me refine my artistry. And not just that, it was part of the reason why I also got to finish my mixtape.
What, the reading books?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So your mixtape, Sorry That I'm Late. What I'm curious about, the last album review I did, I waited till the end to ask them about the title. But for you, I'm curious. So the second half of the equation, I'm here to stay, makes complete sense to me. Yeah. But the first half, Sorry That I'm Late. I want to know 2 things. 1, who are you apologizing to? Mm-hmm. And then 2, what do you mean by late?
I would say I would be apologizing to not just myself, but to the people that are looking up to me as role models, especially about my brother.
Your brother.
My brother. I would say my parents as well. Or just people that just like admire me from a distance. Because I know there's a bunch of people that they've told me like, hey, like, like the things you do, even at work, like a lot of people, they just see me reading. I shouldn't be self-snitching on myself like that, but they see me reading. It's like, man, I want to read a book just like you, man. I've been told that many, many times. It's like, man, you make me want to read books just by seeing you. It's just so calm there. And I would say most of the time, I'm getting a call.
It's all good. It's probably your boy.
It's probably my homeboy. But backtracking to what I was saying. So it's an apology to myself because I feel like I was my worst enemy at one point because I was holding myself back with all this self-sabotage.
Right.
By just because I wanted to fill the void within myself, I just kept repeating these patterns, re-meeting the same people, but within different people.
Right.
And like, I would just play along, knowing how the story's going to end, knowing that I'm going to, go through this pain. I just did it just to like satisfy my own ego. And then I realized, shit, I can't be living like that forever, man. Cause like, if I keep living with the ego and neglecting the soul, then I will have no soul left.
That's a fact. I get that. 100%. So now we got down. I mean, like that makes sense to me. What I want to know now is like, what do you mean by late? Because bro, I'm 31 years old. Like you're barely about to be 24, if I'm not mistaken.
In April, yeah.
So what do you mean by late? Like, is there an expectation of like someone set for you, or said like you should have made it by this age? You're like, oh, I'm sorry that I'm late.
I feel like it's all pressure within myself, really. That I'm really like, I've always grown up with like high expectations for myself. I still do. I still have high standards for myself, especially when it comes to my artistry, right?
Right.
And I would say the late part. Well, I'm always late to like everywhere I go too. That's another reason why I kind of called it that way as well. But not only just that, I feel like the late. I don't know what to say.
It's okay. Take your time. Because while you think, for me, when I think late, I think of like, if we're putting it straightforward, someone says parties at 12, you show up at 12:30, you're late. You know what I'm saying? There's an expectation set of when you're supposed to be somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear the title, Sorry That I'm Late, but I'm here to stay, It's like you're apologizing to somebody, and you
I know what it is now. Okay, now that I remember, it's mostly for like the people that, how I said, look up to me, right? They were waiting for me for so long for me to tell them this truth. I feel like the world was waiting for me to tell them this truth, what I feel about within myself, because it's happening within all of us. So someone had to expose the truth. So I was late to expose the truth.
I see. But now you're here to stay.
But I'm not here to stay. Okay. Now that I established myself, okay, this is who I am.
I like that. I like that. Like, and one of the first things I got from our interview, the first time that we interviewed, if you guys haven't, go back to our first interview. It's on Nobody's Listening at YouTube with my boy Al here. So I hear 11 different themes. I'm going to read you all 11 themes.
Sure.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. No,
11 different things. I like
11
that.
different themes, right? So I hear like a big picture, right? You're thinking just bigger than the EP itself. I hear the title, which is like an identity thing. I hear a theme of ego versus higher self, right? I hear patterns in relationships. I hear friends, betrayal, isolation.
Yes.
I hear some kind of addiction / escapism. I hear responsibility, little brother, like you were mentioning earlier. I hear something about a message to the youth, aka rewiring yourself. And I hear faith, divine timing, like you were saying earlier about the God within all of us, right? And then 2 more left for you. I hear song plus intent. So when I say song intent, I mean what you are doing with your music is intentional. And then the final thing, which I think I prefer in a lot of my artist music that I listen to, and I hear a lot throughout your project, is accountability, right? So I want to start, I have a question for each of these, but I want to know, of the things that I've read, is there anything that you feel like is not accurate? Is there anything where you're like, that doesn't really apply?
I think everything's spot on, really. You really listen to this deeply, and I can tell.
Yeah.
Because I do take accountability for the shit I've done, Like, I've fucked up, I've done people dirty too. And people have done me dirty as well. And it's like, now, before, right, I'd be like, damn, why the fuck did they do me dirty like that? Like, fuck them,
Right.
But then after reflecting, back then, I was like, okay, now I see why, because I have karmic debt to pay. Okay, so like what goes around comes around, and like it might not be in this life. The debt may not be from this life. Point. It might not be from this life. It could be from a past life or many before. And all those people that I've met in this life, I've known them from then too.
Yeah,
I've known them from back then as well. I just re-met them because it's all part of the same lesson.
It's all part of the same lesson.
It's soul ties.
Soul ties. Let's go. So soul ties, I want to ask a question about divine timing, okay? So from what I hear is the project, it ends in like a prayer, right?
Yeah.
And it's asking God for a sign. I want to know, did you get the sign?
Yes, and that's how I wrote True to Myself, because if you loop the mixtape from the last song to the first song, the prayer on the last song was answered on the first song. And the first song is the beginning and the end of the story at the same time.
And the story, in
my story.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I figured.
And everybody's story as well, because a lot of people relate to this.
We're all connected. Right. So I want to know, as an artist, because I've heard different artists say different things. Do you like to explain your art? I mean, obviously we're doing an album.
Yeah.
We're talking about your art, right? But I'm saying, like, when you say listen to the story, some artists might leave it just at that. I'm curious, how do you view that kind of thing? Do you like to explain your story to people, or?
I like to explain it with the beat on. So me rapping the story. I don't really, unless they ask me, what made you write this song? Or like, what made you write this mixtape? Then I'll explain. If they're curious, enough to know, then I'll tell them the story. But they got to tune in to what I'm trying to say through the beat. Right. I like telling the story. I like explaining the story with the beat in the background. So a mixtape.
Yeah, a mixtape. Exactly. That makes sense. There's a responsibility there.
Right.
The responsibility is another theme that I had written down here, or typed out, I should say. That's more. So I have to ask you, why was it important for you? Or actually, no, before I get to that, like what is the main lesson you want people to learn from this album, from this project?
It is not too late to change.
I mean, you say that to the mic. I appreciated the deep moment. I was like, I gotta let him rock. Yeah. But like, I don't think the mic caught that.
Yeah.
It's not too late to change.
It's not too late to change.
Okay. I like that you're so artistic there, because the album title, the project title is "Sorry That I'm Late,
But I'm Here to Stay."
But I'm here to stay, and you're saying it's not too late to change is the message that you would like for people to know.
And also as well, when you look at the track list, right, and you connect the first song and the first song. Sorry, what did I say?
The first song, last song.
The last song of the first song, right? It spells out, "Sorry that I'm late, but I'm here to stay true to myself."
Ooh.
I don't know if you caught that.
I did not catch that. That's fire. Look at you know what? I gotta go on a little rant here. You know what pisses me off about the modern landscape is the modern landscape promotes a lot of like popularity. You know, how connected are you? Who are you taking pictures next to? Who are they taking pictures next to?
Yeah.
As opposed to, do you put thought into this shit? Like, for something like that, where I would like to think I listened to this enough times for it to, like, okay, I caught that, I caught this, I caught that. But for you to think that deeply about it means a lot to me as an artist. So I really respect that. One of the things that I especially appreciate, again, if you guys go back and listen to the interview, you performed "True to Myself" before it was out on our platform. Correct. On Nobody's Listening, right? So one of the things that I feel like I hear when you're talking about true to myself, there's ego there, right? Correct. That was one of the things about the themes that I had here typed out, the duality of your ego versus your higher self, okay? I want to ask you a general question.
Yeah.
Do you feel like bravado, machismo, like your the ability to be brave and courageous, do you feel like that's armor? Do you feel like it's entertainment? Or do you think it's both?
Good question. When it comes to the first song, "True to Myself," or just in general?
True to myself, and then in general.
I feel like "True to Myself" is a projection of my inner masculine. And actually, that's actually throughout the whole mixtape, the projection of my inner masculine. And then the vocal part, like the female vocal parts, are projections of my inner feminine. And that's what the whole mixtape is really about. Answering your question, yes, it is a projection of my inner masculine.
Right.
And basically, I don't know if I'm going off track with the question here, but I do want to say this before it leaves my thought. So basically, if the mixtape, you listen to it really well. Again, if you do listen to it again, which I think you will, you're gonna notice there's an inner conflict within my masculine and my feminine, and it projects itself onto the people I come across with throughout the story. And that's what happened.
And that's why I said higher self, because I don't necessarily mean higher self as in like your third eye, which I think is something that you reference to a lot throughout your project. Yeah. But I think higher self as your connection to everybody that you're talking to. Correct. Right. And that is higher than yourself because it's literally outside of your body. Exactly. But what I will say is when you spend that much time outside of your body and thinking outside of the box, like I feel like you do, you could feel isolated. Yeah. Right. You could feel alone. That is one of the themes I have here. Okay. On your track Forever, right, you lean into being alone. Yeah. And what I want to know is, does being alone feel like peace or does it feel like protection?
Great question. It's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both, because on a lot of times, and I've experienced this a lot recently, I'm very prone to negative energy influencing me. Okay. And I try when like someone, like for example, you ever have a problem, with someone, or like not even that, someone just comes to you and like they just trauma dump you with their problems.
I'm probably one of those people. not now, but I used to be. Yeah, absolutely.
Like for me, I'm pretty prone to that. I would say, like, I kind of like I'm trying my best to not let that affect me now, you know, because I'm very well aware of people's energies. Like, I could read people's energies like that.
Right.
I probably won't tell you, you know, but I'm definitely like reading, you know, like what you're on about and all that, you know.
Yeah.
And I kind of have like these gut feelings sometimes with certain people. It's like, oh shit, like I probably shouldn't be around them, you know. So Forever, I guess it was raining at a time. I was going to college at the time when I wrote this whole mixtape. But Forever, I was spending a lot of time alone. So I guess that song was really a projection of how I was feeling at the time. It's like I was very isolated and I was just alone with my thoughts. So that's how that came out.
Was that time February 4th, 2021?
Yeah, I was already going to college already at the time. Yeah.
Because there's a song on the mixtape called February 4th, 2021.
Yeah.
To me, when I listened to that album, that song, when I listened to it over, I said, this feels like a turning point in the project. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So 100%. What I want to know is what changed?
It's the first turning point in the project.
The first turning point
because there's a few.
Okay.
There's quite a few.
So then what changed after that night in particular? Because that's 5 years ago. Yeah. Half a decade.
Yeah.
So what changed in your life after that?
I became in tune with what I was really meant for musically. Mm-hmm. Because I thought I was going to die that night.
Really? Why?
Because I was so high out of my mind, dude. Like, I just started hearing all these sounds. That's why at the outro, you hear these different sounds.
Those are the sounds that you were hearing
That's
that night.
only a little fraction of what I heard that night. I heard about 1 million of those.
1 million of those
I'm not
sounds.
even joking. I wish I was not being serious.
That's how high you were.
Yeah.
That's really high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
would think I'm dying too.
Yeah. I thought it was, like I was shaking too. Like if I would have had a seizure.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you, forgive me if you don't want to answer this question, but you still smoked after that?
I still kept doing it. Yeah.
I would never smoke again. That might scare me sober after that. Mm-hmm. So now I want to know, because I was going to go to another topic, but I have to ask, like, when it comes to getting high on this project, right? Not getting high on the project, but on this project, getting high.
The skit, right?
Right.
The skit. Mm-hmm.
The skit, yeah. But I'm talking about throughout your lyrical content, getting high is both creative fuel and it also sounds like a trap.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
In your personal life or even in the music, where is that line?
The line? Oh.
Getting high. Yeah. Where's that line for you?
Man, that's a pretty deep question. I'm not going to lie. It's, like in what terms? Like, where do I draw the line of getting high?
So what I hear in the project is getting high is both creative fuel, but also a trap.
Yeah.
What is that line? Like, where's the line between creative fuel and a trap? What is the line?
That's a tricky question. It's really, but I'm down at, I want to answer this. It's because it's something it's a question I've had for myself too as well. It's like, where do I draw the line? I stopped smoking weed a year ago, more than over a year ago.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. But I mean,
but like you said, you wrote this years ago.
Yeah, years ago.
Right.
Most of this project was written between 2022, 2023, mostly 2022 when I was going to college. 23 was kind of like around a few songs, and I believe the last piece I finished writing was Washing Cars. That was this 2025.
Wow.
So it took me to mature. But going back to your question, I don't want to get off the rails. Where I draw the line, honestly, I see it as creative fuel, right? At least at the time, right? Because it helped me, every emotion I was feeling at the time, it helped me get it out. Because back then I really wasn't aligned with myself. So that kind of served as a crutch to get it out, you know?
Right. I can respect that. I think that not just weed, not just getting high, but I also get a sense that the same kind of addiction is with, I don't want to say with women, right? But with your relationships,
it is.
Right?
It is.
What I want to know about your relationship with women is what did you learn about yourself from the type of women that you kept choosing? Like, what did you learn about yourself?
That was just as toxic as they are.
That you're just as toxic as they are. In what way?
I was being, very like, how can I say this? Like, man, I'm single, but they're in a relationship with me, or like they're with me. So that was my mindset back
I'm
then.
single, but they're in a relationship with me. I like that.
So it's like, or I'm fucking with them, or they're fucking with me, but like they can't, do it with anyone else but with me, So that's how I was,
Right.
And like
You're taking, I'm single. I get it.
exactly,
I get it. Yeah.
Right. And not just that too. I had like my if I didn't like something about a woman, I wouldn't tell them directly, so I would just like cut them off.
What?
Yeah. One time, like I was messing with this chick, right?
Right.
And I don't want to be too explicit with this.
Yeah, let's not.
After I was done, I was getting really annoyed
Mm-hmm.
with her, and I kicked her out of my truck.
Your truck? I thought you were at least gonna say house. My guy said truck. This guy. Hey, bro. Sorry he's late, but he's here to stay. I mean,
And like, I honestly, I'm not too proud of it, And like, if she ever sees this, like, I apologize. I was just being a jerk at the time. My ego was like, and my soul was like,
I see. Your ego was high. Your soul was low.
exactly. And I was like 19, I think. Yeah, 19.
So let me ask you a serious. This is, I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that you opened up and said that, because my next question for you was: do you feel like you were avoiding love or avoiding being embarrassed again?
Ooh, damn, you got me there. I would say, man.
Hold on. The camera can't see him. He's like, damn. I gotta point that out.
Yeah. that was a deep. That was a good question.
Up to speed and everything.
Yeah, you came here really good. Yeah. So the question was,
do you feel like you were avoiding love or avoiding being embarrassed again?
The real question here is, I think, was it really love, or was it just infatuation the whole time within myself?
You were infatuated and not in love. You don't know. You're asking yourself that.
So that was my question at the time. It's like, okay, was I really in love with the person, with those women, or was I in love with the idea of them or being with them?
Like, almost, that kind of goes back to what you're saying about you find out that you're just as toxic as they are, right? In my experience, this is not all women, but in my experience that with dating, I have noticed that some women, they date you off what you think you can be.
Potential.
Right, but not they like who you are already, but they're like, oh, he could be so much more with me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
100%.
So it sounds like you were doing that with the women that you were choosing. Is that fair? Is that accurate?
I guess you could say so. Yeah, it's like, what can they do for me? Not so much what I can do for them. And from that, when you think like that, it's like you're really just feeding the ego at that point.
Right.
That's why in the what song was it? Forever. I say this really racist bar in there. It's like
that's insane to say. I'm keeping it though. I mean,
yeah,
let's go viral.
I could say it because I'm the Latino, right? But I was like, bitch, don't ask me for no favors. I ain't meant to be your saver. Like an immigrant chasing papers, you gotta serve me like a waiter. So from there, that was ego driven,
right?
And that was me attacking my inner feminine,
right?
Because that's the inner masculine saying, I don't need you, bitch. Like, I can do this shit. That's why I say I can do this shit on my own.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, right now in talking, you do this great thing where it's like super high level thinking that I wouldn't think about, and then you like bring it back right back to like relatability. You're talking about all this stuff, and it's like, that's my way of saying, I was connecting with the stars and the moon, and that's my way of saying, bitch, I don't like you. Wait, full circle moment. I love that. No, but I love how you did that. But you have a line where you say, she's just like you.
Ooh, it has two meanings to it. You caught it. You definitely caught it. I was compared. So let's put it this way. I had fallen out with this younger chick, right? I was 20, she was 18. And like, she was just like the other girl that I was messing with, but she was a lot older than I am. And basically, I kind of say, okay, I can't. Even if you do come back, you're just like her. But and then I kind of go back. Why do I keep attracting the same women? Like, why do they keep running back to me? It's because I was just like them. So that's where the whole
that's the full circle thing.
That's the full circle moment.
And that's where you were. If you don't mind moving the microphone a little closer to you.
Yeah, you're good.
It's all good, bro. Mm-hmm. You're very animated. It's gonna do that. That's fine. That's exactly where I need it to be.
Yeah.
So that's that full circle love moment, right? Where you're talking about earlier that women that you are just like them. Right? You're just as toxic as they are, right? And then the women that you're chasing, like someone that was 2 years younger than you, is the same as someone who's much older than you, and you're the same as them. It's, again, this theme of connection. We're all connected. What I want to know is how do you feel so alone even though you're so connected spiritually?
Because back then I wasn't one with the universe. Mm-hmm. I was just thinking me, you know, like why me? You know, why me? But in reality I was the one isolating myself from the universe, not the universe isolating me.
You know, when you're one with the universe, or you say you weren't one with the universe, one could classify that era of your life as like escapism, right? And that's one of the themes that I said that you had on this project. What were you running from during that phase of your life?
Myself, really.
Who you are right now. Have you always known this version of yourself?
I knew there was like when I first got the vision of who I really like could be or who I'm really meant to be. I didn't think I'd reach it ever. Honestly, it's like, damn, like, and I guess like that kind of like put me in a mode where like, what do I got to do to like, I just kept asking myself questions like, okay, why am I like this? You know? And why am I the way I am?
A lot of people don't ask themselves those questions, right? But you, like I said, you have a lot of accountability and growth on that. Like, before I go to your accountability, actually, no, I want to stay on accountability for a second, right?
Yeah.
Now that you know who you are, what does healing that old version of yourself, what does that look like after this project, after this mixtape? What does that look like for you?
I've fallen out with a lot of friends. And it's not no beef or anything like that. I just don't resonate on the same frequency as them.
Right.
And they just don't resonate on the same frequency as I am right now.
That happens when you get older, yeah.
And it happens a lot. It happens to everybody. And I'm not putting myself above anyone, by the way, with this statement, that we're not on the same frequency. They could be doing better than I am right now. I don't know that. But it's just we're on different, just like a TV, you know, there's like channels, you know? If you don't like a channel, you can switch it. So kind of like that, we're on different channels.
100%. Yeah, running concurrently.
Exactly.
Right?
It's not like this. I see it like this.
I love that you said that because I was just about to tell you a quote that somebody told me once. People think life is a ladder. Life is a journey, right? A ladder implies someone is higher than the other. A journey means we're equal, but someone could be further than you on the same journey.
Exactly.
Right? Further doesn't mean better. Further literally just means distance-wise, you have traveled more. And
space and time.
Right. I want to shift gears a little bit. I know who this person is, but for the people listening, what does the name Chris mean to you in this project?
That's my little brother, right? Who's 10 years younger than I am. And also not just that, but also representation of my younger self as well.
What if Chris heard this project at 18 years old? What do you hope that he would understand that you didn't understand at 18 years old?
Don't take everything personal.
Don't take everything personal.
Don't take everything personal because everyone acts out of projection at the end of the day. If I would have known this when I was 18, I would have saved myself a lot from pain. I would have saved myself from a lot of disappointment. But the reality was that I was disappointed in the people that hurt me because I expected them to be like me. But in reality, they weren't like me. They were just being themselves.
Right.
And when you set that standard, you know, it's like, damn, if I get disappointed because if I was in their shoes, this is what I would do. And you realize later in life, no one's like you. You can only be you.
Right.
So therefore, you can't setting setting expectation for people, it's just setting yourself up for disappointment.
Right. 100%. And what you just said is something that it took me almost 30 years to learn, right? I had to rewire my brain. Right. But speaking of rewiring, you have a song on here called The Rewire.
Correct.
And to me, it sounds like a manifesto. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, 100%.
What moment made you feel like you had to rewire?
It was the moment when I realized that I had a lot of shit that I had to work on within myself. A lot of beliefs that I was taught or just I heard when I was little. And then I started realizing it was just bullshit.
What? I want to stay on that for a second. I was talking to somebody the other day where I said, you know, one of the things I miss about being broke is not knowing what being broke meant. Because when you're broke, if you're born broke and that's all you know, you don't necessarily know I am broke until you start seeing another side of life. It's one thing to see nice things and look at people who are wearing nice clothes, but you don't, like when you're young, you don't necessarily think I'm doing something wrong. You're like, that person's different than me.
Right.
So what I'm curious about is like, what made you have this moment within yourself of saying, damn, this is wrong? Like, what did you compare it to?
I wouldn't say that I compared it to anything.
Okay.
I would say it just didn't feel right within me. And me just repeating the same loop just meant for me to keep repeating the same pain. And I didn't want to feel pain no more. I was like, when is this going to end? Like, right. I thought it never end. I thought it never end. I thought my life was just like that, you know? And then I slowly started finding myself within, and it's like, dang, there's like more to life than just, you know, women, more in life than just alcohol, more in life than just drugs, shit, more in life to just our life.
Right.
There's like so many different dimensions out there, man. Like you could travel wherever the fuck you want to go without having to leave. Yeah.
Anywhere you want to go in your mind, essentially, is what you're saying.
I do want to continue with this thought right here. I read this one book called Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza.
It's a good book.
Really good book. Yeah. Really good book. I think it's one of the greatest books I've ever read, aside from the Bible. But he talks about how, you know, how humans to get to one point to another, it takes time, right? To travel through space, it takes time, right?
Right.
And then he talks about, that's time-space travel, right? Then he talks about space-time travel. So, you know how to simplify it like this. You know when you get food with the fork, right? Think about this. Do you go towards the fork to reach to the food, or do you let the food, or do you bring the food to yourself?
You bring the food to yourself.
Right. So then most humans, right, when you use time to travel through space, we're going towards the food.
What you're saying, letting time happen to you.
Like, to get to point A to point B, we take time. What if you just did it the other way around? What if you brought the fork to you? What if you lived as bringing the fork to you instead of you going to the fork? Because all of us, since our birth, we go to the fork. We live going to the fork. That book made me realize, what if I just bring the fork to me? And the only way to do that is being one with the universe. Because if you're one with the universe, you have nowhere to go.
Things happen to you. Like good things happen to you.
When you're detached.
When you're detached.
When you're one with the universe. That's why he also talks about being nobody. Because all of us want to be somebody. And basically trying to be somebody, you know, you're attaching yourself to just... You're putting yourself in a box, pretty much. Yeah. Trying to be somebody. Oh, I want to be somebody. You know, I want to be someone famous. But you're really, what you're doing is just putting yourself in this shell, you know, like a turtle, you know? Like, yeah. We're in this human body, you know? But when you're one with the universe, you're nobody. And you can be, at the same time, you can be everybody when you're connected.
I love that. I think that anybody who listens to this project, to be honest with you, they're not going to get what you're saying on the first listen.
Yeah.
They're going to have to listen on a loop, and that's the way that you design the project. But speaking of, let's take a second. I want to kind of close this out with songs, like actual just songs for you. I have a list of questions. I want to know what song is the truest song, and I feel like I know the answer to that one. And then I want to know which song was the funnest song for you.
Wow. Okay. Great question.
So two separate songs. You can't use the same title.
Of course. The truest song. Like when you mean by truest, it's like
most authentically to your artistry, not to your person, to your artistry.
I'd say Chris. That song is so deep to me, and it's actually my favorite off the mixtape as well. Even though it's not I know it's not the best song sonically, because I have way better songs on the project sonically. But to me, that song has a special place in my heart.
Right.
Because when I was growing up, I was the only child. Till I turned 10 years old, Chris came along. Before that, I always wished that I had an older brother to look up to.
Right.
And then later on along the line, I ended up becoming an older brother. I need to say that shit again.
You ended up becoming the older brother.
I ended up becoming the older brother that I never had. To my little brother. Right. So therefore, it's that song, basically, when I wrote that song back in 22, by the way. When I wrote that song, I thought about, okay, what would my older brother tell me if I was messing up?
Damn.
Or if I was the older brother, am I messing up? What do I tell my little brother not to do, or like what to be aware of? And one of the realest lines I say on that song was I would have to rap the whole second verse.
Rap the whole
second verse just to find it. It's I apologize if I'm being harsh when I call you out. When I'm doing something wrong, gotta emphasize respect towards her mom. Never let her down, cause we're all that she's got. She's mad on the spot when you being rude, hoping that one day you can change your attitude.
What song did you write the fastest?
Good question. Straight chillin'. I was at work when I wrote that song.
I love that. What was the hardest bar to keep in because it felt way too honest?
Ooh. Man. Instead of bar, can I say verse?
Fine.
Verses? Yeah. I would say the entirety of my rapping on Sorry That I'm Late, But I'm Here to Stay. So the self-titled song.
The self-titled song. Why?
Because it's an apology. No, sorry, it's not an apology. It's a diss and giving flowers to the woman that hurt me. But at the same time, I praise her because if she had not done that, I wouldn't have grown.
You wouldn't be who you are today.
Exactly. So for me, it's like, in order to be a star, you must burn.
Sheesh. That's a bar. I like that.
I had to burn. And now I'm a star.
Now you're a star. Where can people find you at? Where can people find the star?
You can find me on Instagram at Addictive Love Music. I'm going to say it again. Addictive Love Music. Tap in. If you're not tapped in, tune in now, because it's never too late to follow yourself. If you're a fan of me, you're a fan of yourself. I need to say that shit again. That shit was too cool. All right. You could find me on Instagram at Addictive Love Music. Tap in, listen to that mixtape. It will change your life, guaranteed. And if it doesn't, you can unfollow me. But
the mixtape he's talking about is Sorry That I'm Late, But I'm Here to Stay.
Yes, sir.
And you can find that where?
Everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, SoundCloud. I mean, shit, I think there's other streaming platforms too that they
Pandora.
I'm pretty sure they got that shit on Pandora.
Absolutely, yeah.
I uploaded that shit on United Masters, so they got it everywhere. All over the world. I'm going to be dropping physicals pretty soon, so stay tuned for that.
What's next for you?
Great question. I'm already working on another mixtape. Well, I've been working on another mixtape, and it's funny because I'm already living it. And it's more like nightlife theme.
Yeah, more nightlife.
More nightlife.
More party.
More party, right? And it's funny because I started writing this mixtape about 2 years ago and I still wasn't done with this first one. And now that I realize my words are so powerful that I'm literally writing my future.
Right.
And I wrote my future on the first song of the mixtape, True to Myself.
Yeah.
And the last one too, Sorry That I'm Late. Sorry That I'm Late is like basically, it's like, not only it's just me performing in front of fans. I don't know if you heard the fans in the background just screaming.
Oh, those are fans. Okay.
Yeah, just like, you know.
Oh, no, I heard this. I thought you meant literal fans. I'm like, no, I heard the screaming. I thought you meant like, I was like, wait.
Oh, like fans? No, like fans, like, you know, like
that's
people
a loud
at the
fan.
concert. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that song, right, is literally kind of me putting myself in the future, me having all, you know, me being at a concert, me performing in front of all these people. That's kind of the reason why I also titled it Sorry That I'm Late, but I'm here to stay. You know how like when main artists, you know, that perform, they come late? Yeah. That's also part of the reason why I also named it like that as well. Because I took so long to get to this point, you know, it's like I feel like I was late. You guys needed this. You guys need to hear the truth.
Right.
And basically, it's not just a song about me performing in front of my fans in the future, but it's also a spiritual battle.
Right.
Of the ego and the id, I believe, as well.
Oh, so the id, yeah,
and the super id and the super ego, and then after, when you hear that silence, that's when everything's done, and like you hear the divine feminine, or not the divine feminine, it would be the inner feminine, the inner feminine within myself, crying for help, for prayer.
I like
because
that.
it's within. It's she's praying to God, like when is this gonna change? And then it turns out that when you hear the first song, when you hear it back, when you loop it back to True to Myself, and you hear God, quote unquote, talking in the, you know, at first, and he says, "As the night dies, up comes the morning sunrise."
Right.
That's the answer to that prayer. But really, it's when the feminine and the masculine are united. That's when you go to God. That's what's called marriage.
Yes. Trust me, if anyone knows that, I know that. I really appreciate that you sent me not just the project. I mean, you didn't send me the project directly. The project was already out, but I appreciate that you sent me the lyrics. I encourage you all, if you have not listened to it, don't give it some kind of half-ass listen. You gotta set the mood. Get a little beanbag chair or something, bro. Sit on the floor, Indian style, if they still call it that. I don't know if that's offensive or not. Crisscross applesauce on a beanbag with the headphones on, right? Not your little earbuds. I need you to get some fucking Dre beats and just zone out, bro. Maybe close your eyes. Get a little weird. Turn the lights off, right?
Yeah.
No, but
literally.
In all seriousness, it really is artistic. And that's what I appreciate and respect about your artistry, is that you really think deeply about every word that you put in, every line that you put in, your track listing, the way that you title things. I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate you being the second ever album review that I've done. So thank you for being on the show, man.
Thank you. That shit was good, bro. Oh, what my question to you? What's your rating, like, out of 10?
Man,
I know it's a hard one, but
well, here's my thing. I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? I, as an artist, active artist, I knew you were gonna say that. I don't do that. No, I'm gonna tell you why. Right? Because I'm very convinced that my brain as an artist is too biased to be able to do that fairly. So I'm gonna tell you exactly what I mean. Okay. Let's say you were a jazz artist. I would have no way of knowing that you are a great jazz artist, but I can be very fucking impressed with your ability to make jazz art. So my brain, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, that's an 8 out of 10. But then someone in the audience, or like a majority of the audience, would be,
could be better.
That didn't sound so good. Right. So what I will say is the way I rate things has nothing to do with sonics. Because again, I'm biased in that regard. Right. I rate things based on lyrical content and artistry. Okay. So I would say that lyrical content, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Right. And the reason I'm giving it a 7 out of 10, that's not bad. Right. I think what I would have liked to have heard more for me to give it like that 9-10 range is I would have liked for the things that you're saying right now to be a little more clear to the average listener.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm very abstract with my
You're so
Super
abstract.
But it's but it's good to be hidden because you don't want to you don't want to feed him too much.
No, of course not. Of course not. Headphones. Absolutely.
Headphones. Get
absolutely. I would say that that's something that I've run into an issue where I said, man, like, I can't believe people didn't get this bar. And it got to the point where I had to put pictures on the screen for people to understand, bro. That was a triple entendre that you just made, right? So to me, like, that is the thing that I think would push it over to the 10 side.
I agree.
And but sorry, my bad. I swapped those. Lyrics are an 8 out of 10. The artistry, 7 out of 10, because the artistry is what I just said.
Yeah.
I wish you would have shown that more in terms of like your rollout, the way you present it online, the art cover and things of that nature. It's not necessarily things that we understand right away, but once they listen to this, that's going to push it into that 8-9 range for me.
It'll click it.
Yeah.
It's something like, for me, this mixtape, and I kind of like had the intention of this. It's not like, it's one of those mixtapes where you'll sleep on it at first. Yeah. And then like 5, it's gonna grow 10 years from now, it's like, damn, this shit's a classic. Yeah, I think so. I think that as long as you keep it on the forefront of people's minds and like you do more content like this where you describe the story, I think that it's going to grow on people for sure. 100%. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, now I appreciate you.